Um, Really important. I think consistency is probably what's most important here, as today many operations vary which side they serve or remove plates for a guest. I think most importantly, it's to do it consistently. So traditionally, you serve from the left when placing food from a platter on a guest's plate. So if you have a large platter, you're dishing the food off, you take it from the left side and you put it on their plate. Now, you serve from the right if the food has been pre-plated. This is what traditionally was done in the past, but today many are doing this from the left side. So again, like I say, it's best to do it consistently. Now, beverages are served from the right. You should lift the glass or cup to fill, but not always. You want to make sure you're lifting the glass or cup if you think there's going to be any issue with spilling. But generally, you can lift the cup or the glass, the coffee cup and saucer, so that you can fill it. You especially don't want to reach in front of somebody or your guest. If you're going to do that, that's when you really want to pull it aside. Now, soup, individual soup is served from the right unless it is served from a tureen, which that's a large container that kind of buffet style, and you're going to serve that from the left. Now, you always want to serve women first, and you want to start clockwise. Just like a clock, you're going to start at noon and go to 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. on the clock. Remove soiled serviceware from the right. Empty crockery, fresh cutlery from the right. Never reach across a guest. Always go to the other side. Never put your arms or reach in front of them. Now, if you click on the link Service Styles, that'll take you to what I'm going to discuss here about all the different types of service styles. It'll help explain it a little more in depth for you also. So the service styles, it's the manner in which the food is served to the guest. American is traditionally pre-plated and served individually with a cover, a lid. Without a cover, it's called a blue plate. So you've probably heard that blue plate special. Well, that's no cover, that's the blue plate special. So buffet, most typically is a long table with hot and cold foods. Hot food is typically in chafing dishes, not always, but traditionally. Now, an interactive buffet, we mentioned that before, that's where chefs or servers display the cooked food, or they're cooking the food, such as access stations, omelets, sushi, stir fry, etc. Small plates are best. Have the staff converse with the guests as much as possible. Interaction is the key here. A guest can make his or her own items also. You could do a dessert station and maybe have different parts of the dessert on the station, and attendants there trying to explain to the guests how to put their plates together. They may have several sauces so they can make it kind of fun for the guest. Even simple as ice cream station, that's can be interactive too. Now, standard buffet, that's platters or chafing dishes of hot or cold food. Guests serve themselves. Butler, that's where you have tray passed or butler pass like that of the Russian service. Guests, whether seated or standing, serve his or herself from a platter of food, typically used for hors d'oeuvres. Now, English, think of this as like your traditional Thanksgiving dinner. Large platters are used for the service, and the host plates each guest's food items, and the plate is returned to the guest. Now, family, remember the big yellow house? Well, some of you may be too young, and many of them are gone, but they served everything family style. It was an informal way of dining. All the bowls, platters, etc. were put on the dinner table, and everyone helped themselves. Now, Chinese style is another way of family style, except for there's a rotating platter. And so all the dishes are put on that. They're in the Lazy Susan, and it can be turned, spun actually, and the guests can serve themselves from that. The Chinese style is also used for a Chinese banquet service. We did that several times at Hyatt. It's very elaborate to do a Chinese wedding. You need the Lazy Susan, so you might have to have them built for all your tables, and many courses for an event like that. Now, French service, that's teams consisting of a captain, a front waiter, and a back waiter. Items come partially cooked from the kitchen, and the final touches are done in front of the guest. The French service could use a gueridon. You can serve things from a gueridon such as duck à la orange, Dover sole à la Molière, flame and crepe Suzette. The gueridons are usually they're a very fancy cart. Ours, when I worked at Hyatt, we had a wonderful restaurant. We would use the gueridon, beautiful silver cart, nice dome lid, and it had like a steam table built into it. You could do nice carving items from that, whole roasts, prime ribs. We used to do a beautiful whole salmon with the skin on still, but beautiful stuffing inside, and that would be sliced in front of the guest. Now, Russian service, this is large platters, one per table, maybe one course with one component per platter, or all the components on one platter in succession. Usually a white glove type service. Stand-up cocktail. This is pretty much what we're doing for honors night, except for partly there is some buffet service with this, the 4 stations that we're doing. May consist of finger foods, hors d'oeuvres, pass, and food stations. This helps in getting guests to mingle. Synchronized, very elaborate presentation. This where all the plates have elaborate domes, and all the domes, when the plates are brought in, it's all simultaneously for one table. The plates are put in front of the guest, and then the domes are removed simultaneously by staff. So if you have 8 people at a table, then you need 8 people to remove all those domes at the table. Very labor intensive, but very impressive. Proper training a must. We used this several times when we did events, dinners at the Nixon Library. So very formal way of dining. On our next slide, just kind of going over the timeline, and this is very important to work on.